How's it going, everybody? This is Maxwell McGee here at GDC 2012, and today I'm joined by Min from developer Fix Korea, and we are checking out Tactical Intervention. Now, Min, some of you may be familiar with his previous work. He worked on a little game called Counter-Strike, isn't that correct?
Yeah, actually, that was about 10 years ago. I came up with the idea of Counter-Strike when I was in university, and I partnered up with another guy called Cliffy, and together we worked together and developed this really crazy phenomenon called Counter-Strike, which started off as a really small mod, had small expectations, but it quickly blew up, and I think it found a great niche that was lacking at the time. Yeah.
Well, let's jump into to Tactical Intervention here. I can definitely, from what I've been seeing so far, it has some, it's definitely got some Counter-Strike roots to it.
Yeah, actually it does. You know, I mean, coming from Counter-Strike, there was a lot of things I did that I felt that were done right with Counter-Strike, but there was a lot of elements that I felt were unexplored that I think that I could have done better. So one of those elements was this mission mode you're looking at right now. It's called Hostage Rescue. And in Hostage Rescue, basically as a terrorist, it's very similar to Counter-Strike. You spawn with a terrorist in the zone, and your objective is just to prevent the CTs from coming in. And the difference is in Counter-Strike, the terrorists were actually stuck away in a back room. So they didn't really take part in the actual game mechanics, but I wanted to have them much more interactive and much more a part of the game. I don't know what the hell's going on here. These bots are really chicken shit.
They're having a little bit of trouble right now, as bots are wont to do.
Oh my god, what the f... Anyway.
We saw a little bit of human shield, though, action back a couple seconds ago.
So as a terrorist, you have a lot of cool things that you can do with the hostages. Like for example, one of the things is you can actually use the hostages as a shield. But one of these, the disadvantages is it kind of limits you in your mobility. You don't move as fast, you don't turn as fast.
And you gotta drag a person around with you.
Exactly. It's not the easiest thing to do. But it has to offer its advantages, because obviously it makes it much harder for you to hit. And also, when the CTs hit you, they gotta be careful, because when they shoot you, they're gonna lose a lot of points. So you gotta be careful with that in that sense. But it has its uses. Yeah.
So let's talk about the HUD elements we're seeing here. Specifically, there's a little dog icon. Yeah. What is that for? Well,
as you alluded to, the dog icon is actually used for my little pet, which is a dog, and he's actually really useful because the dog is used in several purposes. You can use him as a defensive mechanism. So, for example, if I'm a camper and I want to put him over here, and I'll just send him over here, and I'll just kind of make him guard. Sit, motherfucker. Okay, so now he's kind of guarding that entrance. Now as I'm a camper, I don't want to keep looking back and forth, so I just use him. He's gonna bark if someone comes up to me, and he's gonna automatically attack him. So this is a great mechanism as a defensive mechanism. Great for campers, which I don't even like anyways, but it's good for those people who do like it as a camper. But also, if you want to use him as an offensive mechanism, you can just have him follow you, and once you find an area where you want to unleash him, you just press the key, and he just goes in there, and I'm just going to show you how that works. So here's the room right here. I'm just going to send him in there. He's just going to go in there and attack, and now he's going to go in there for a few seconds, and he's going to bite anybody that comes up. And now that gives me the opportunity to come around and flank somebody.
So you can sort of send him in there, the dog's running interference, and then you can come up behind.
Yes, exactly. He's like having a very smart teammate, you know? Because, you know, nobody ever listens to you anyways. So as you alluded to, the HUD in the center of the screen, I know it's pretty controversial. A lot of people are going to say, what the fuck is that? You know, there's always expecting in the corner. But I think it's really helpful because even myself, I'm a very experienced FPS player, but I find constantly looking up and down on the top left, it makes it difficult for you to focus on the action. You know, and also with our game, the action is just so incredibly fast-paced, and you can sort of see what's going on or what the controlled chaos. So it's really hard for you to actually keep your momentum, keep your bearings. So a lot of times I'll just kill someone, like right now. So woo, kill him. So now I'm just gonna focus. Okay, where's my next target? Oh, there he is, just right in front of me. So it gives me a really quick reference. I can just sort of look at him, put him right in front of me, and I can.
Yeah, you don't have to like take your focus off of the action to go look up in the corner of the screen. You're always just looking straight ahead.
And it's those extra few seconds that really make the difference between life and death, especially with the game. It's so fast-paced.
So yeah, we were talking about earlier, you actually want to try to make a Tactical Intervention play a little bit quicker than and I mean, Counter-Strike's already hella fast, so I mean, how are you going about this?
Well, yeah, another thing is, like, with the way our maps are broken up too, they're actually broken up into stages. So on each particular stage, you're actually only fighting in a particular area of the map. So in that way, it kind of keeps the action really focused, and it keeps the firefights really quick. So that way, whenever you die, you don't have to wait out as long, and that's one of the things that I found was kind of a turn-off with Counter-Strike. And I found a lot of other games were moving away from this because they didn't like respawning. They didn't like the whole die once, don't respawn thing. So I try to mitigate that by just keeping the action very fast. And there's not much running around. Like as soon as you spawn pretty close to the action. So there's not much running.
Now on the topic of spawning, you mentioned earlier when we were talking that the CTs can actually choose different spawn locations.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, as a CT, you can actually choose where around the zone you want to spawn. So that adds an element of tactics and an element of surprise for the terrorists, because it's not so predictable. Because I found with Counter-Strike, it's always kind of static, and you always kind of knew where they're gonna go, and you kind of ran out that way. So by having this kind of a dynamic spawning system, it just makes the firefights much more unpredictable and much more exciting, I find. Yeah.
Now I may have missed it, but are there iron sights in this game?
No, they're not, because one of the things, it's so fast-paced that I really wanted to keep the action flowing really well. And the thing I found with iron sights, it kind of slows the game down just a tad. But also the thing is, I like to see a lot of the special effects in our game. It's really a lot of cool things happen, and also when you shoot your opponents, I like seeing that reaction, that hit reaction. So with iron sights, it kind of clutters the screen, and I kind of miss having to see what you're shooting at. So it was a design decision for me to not have the iron sights. And yeah, I think it works out all right though, because a lot of our testers they kind of get used to that after a while anyways. And yeah, that's why we don't have iron sights.
All right, well, I want to jump over. I was looking in the trailer earlier. I saw a dramatic car chase on a highway. Yeah. I want to see this highway map that you guys have to show up.
Sure. So let me just talk to you about the highway before it loads up here. So the highway map involves the counter-terrorists. Their job is to escort the VIP, and he's in this car, and he's just let me just show you right now. So here I am, I'm spawned, and this is my car. VIP is sitting in the back. So the objective for me is just to drive the car to the drop-off point, and it's about a 2-minute drive, so I won't bother doing that. But I'll just spawn some bots, so I'll show you what the terrorists are gonna be doing. Okay, so here we go. So here's the scenario. It starts off CTs on a convoy of cars, basically running interference. The terrorists are gonna come right up to us. Their objective is to basically eliminate the VIP. So you can sort of see the craziness that goes on. Shit happens, cars blow up.
Cars are crashing into each other. There's a flatbed with a bunch of trees on it.
Exactly. So it's just that level of dynamics that I really wanted to focus on. I really wanted to add, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but at the same time, it's extremely humorous, extremely engaging, because just the fact that anything can, there's so many different ways in which the scenario can unfold.
So when you have a bunch of characters moving in high-speed vehicles down a highway, how do you keep the action focused in one central area? Yeah.
So one of the key things that we do is, with the level design, is we keep it fairly linear. There's no more than 2 paths that you can take, and they also always branch off back into each other. So it's pretty much a pretty linear map. And also with the way, if you're very familiar with Need for Speed games, like when the VIP goes far enough away and the other guys are far back, I kind of give a speed boost to those guys that are behind. So I kind of encourage them to. It makes it easier for the.
Helps close the gap a little bit.
It's called catch-up code. So I kind of borrowed a page out of Need for Speed. I added a catch-up code. But I find that's really important, because it's no fun if you're like off there driving by yourself, and you can just run off real easily. So we have a lot of mechanisms to keep the action focused, and that's.
Well, can we set up another round of the car chase mode?
Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of other things I want to talk about too. So being in a car, the car. Shut the. Okay, sorry. As a car, there's a lot of cool things you can do. You can actually shoot the tires out, and when you shoot the tires out, the car's gonna behave differently. It doesn't drive as fast. But you can also be like a mechanic. Hey, look at me. I'm just gonna fix the car. So you can
just pop her. I wish it was that easy in real life. I gotta.
But it's not. But anyways, just to keep the gameplay fast.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that we can do. So another thing we do is, as a passenger, I found that in other games, as a passenger, it's kind of stale. You're kind of restricted.
You're just hanging out.
Yeah. So with our game, not only can you rotate around in there, you can also duck. So if you're under fire, which is pretty useful, you can just sort of duck, and it just makes it harder to hit. Also, you can actually lean out of the car. So this is really great, because it just gives you like a full 360-degree view. And it just gives the passengers a better chance to actually engage in the firefights, because I found like being a driver is where all the fun is at, but I didn't want to make the passengers so boring, because there's 4 passengers. So I wanted to make it fun for everybody. So yeah, that's pretty much the car scenario, I think. Pretty much.
So I noticed both in this map and in the previous map, there's this little red syringe that's always half full down in the corner.
Yeah, those are drugs, man. No, because one of the things with our game is I wanted to encourage team play. So one of the ways to encourage team play is when your teammates get injured. Let me just injure this guy. So when your teammates get injured, you can just automatically heal them. You know, there's no meta class, there's no nothing. It's just everybody. Whoa, Jesus fuck.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
He's durable.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. It helps if I just RPG that guy. Yeah. All right. Okay. So now I just took off a lot of health, and yo, there he is. So now I can just walk up to him. I can see his health, and I can just quickly heal him. So it's a really, really fast system. It's not like pulling out shit and just. Yeah. It's all about keeping it fast, because with multiplayer, it's gonna happen real fast. So that kind of aspect keeps the team.
So you can still like fire. You're not like switching out to a different item. You can just keep. It's just a real quick thing.
Yeah. And I did that to encourage it, because I found that we had it where when you had to switch to a medikit, people were less gonna be. They're not gonna do the healing as much. So by having it just like quickly, bam, you know, it's like, you know, it's really encouraged.
Just boom, go, continue with the fight.
Yeah, let's get this thing on. So.
Well, do we have another map we can take a look at before we wrap up here?
Yeah. So that was the Skyway. This one's kind of cool. It's got repelling. This was kind of nice. So another cool feature in this game is the fact that you can sort of spawn all over the terrace. One cool feature is the ability to rappel from a rooftop. So this is a really, really useful feature, because it just, you know, it adds an element of surprise, and you know, having to have the terrace worry about having to watch the windows is.
Are they going to come in through the door, or are they going to crash in through the window?
Exactly. So there's now different entry points that they've got to worry about. So this repelling mechanism is pretty trivial. It's pretty intuitive. So you can just walk up and down it, kind of like Spider-Man kind of shit. Yeah. And if you want to go inside, just press the jump key, and he just jumps right inside. Boom. So now I'm like repelled, and I'm like ready to rock and roll, you know, woo. But I just repelled on the wrong floor. They're on the bottom floors. So now I'm just gonna have to go down there and again anyways. So this map is pretty cool. It takes place in a sky rise, and there's like 2 floors. And the first round of the action takes place on the first floor. So yeah, that's pretty much this map. It's a hostage rescue map, and as a counter-terrorist, I'm just gonna go on there and rescue hostages.
Oh, and I gotta, so are you still, I don't see anything on the HUD indicating like money gain. Are you still like buying your loadout?
No, well, this game being a free-to-play game is actually, the money, the points that you accrue are actually done outside of the game. So you use the points outside of the game. So as you generate points and stuff through the playing of the game, you have to buy your items outside of the game in a shop outside, and then you bring those games into the server when you join a server. So this is the way the free-to-play model works, and it's very similar to other free-to-play games. Yeah. So I didn't show you one of the cool things is a fire extinguisher, because we have fire, and I think I didn't show you this, but it's pretty useful. It's useful as a terrorist, because as a terrorist, one of the things you want to do is you want to block off certain entrances. So let's say the terrorist set a fire here, and he made me reroute there. So I can either go around the corner, or I can pick up that fire extinguisher and put out the fire. So the fire extinguisher. Oh, what the? Yeah, you know, that's a bug. I'm sorry, but
he was very excited about getting to handle that fire extinguisher.
Yeah, let's jizz it up, man. No, but that's just one of the things, one of the elements that we have, like interactive environments, having things that you can do to change the firefights in that sense. So aside from those little props and whatnot, we've got like more mobility, and so I can also walk in, but instead of walking in, I can also do a roll. You know, that's if I can actually get through the roll. Oh, there we go. So it makes it a harder target. So rolling is a pretty useful feature.
Oh man, rolling in first person.
Yeah, some people have gotten vomiting, but you know, it takes a bit of getting used to. But I don't know. For me, it's not so bad. But we might make it so it doesn't actually do that. It might, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So we've got the rolling, we've got the leaning, and we've got another cool thing called blind fire. Pretty useful. Last ditch effort. You're low on ammo. You're low on health, and you just want to lay down some fire support. You know. So just go blind fire. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of my firing in Counter-Strike was blind fire.
Yeah, it's either that or blind fire. And it's pretty cool though, because you can actually you don't have to be behind anything to do it. So it's like, you can actually go into the blind fire mode anywhere you want. So it's not like in Rainbow Six where you have to be behind an obstacle. Yeah. It's actually very freedom. So a lot of our players really like to do this like gangster style shit, you know. So I mean, they're kind of like, yo, man.
Just be styling on people.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, you know, it's cool. It's something that came out of it. And I didn't really realize that's what they wanted, but you know, we've got neat little touches like that. Yeah.
Well, is there anything you can tell us about a beta for Tactical Intervention?
Yeah, the beta is just around the corner now. It's sometime this month. You know, I'd say it's in about a couple weeks, and people can just go to our website. I think you can have it on your site, so they can just go to our website, apply for it, and you know, there's a really good chance they can get in it. And the beta is going to last for maybe a month or so, and after that, I think it's safe to say we're going to be shooting for a summer release.
And then on the PC, I take it. But then any other platform releases?
Yeah, initially just for the PC, but seeing how things go, seeing how our time constraints are going, it shouldn't be too it shouldn't be asking for too much to put it on the Mac. I mean, that's something that I think it's quite feasible, but it's just a matter of this, finding the right amount of time to do it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, man. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy the game when it comes out. Yeah, thanks.